Hey everyone, welcome back to Real Easy Talks, your daily English practice. I'm Anna.
And I'm Tom. Hey, Anna. Hey, everyone. Anna, I'm a bit frustrated today.
Oh? Tell me what's going on.
Okay, so I've been working really hard on my English for the past few months. Reading, listening, practicing every single day. And I looked back at my journal from 3 months ago, and you know what? It feels exactly the same, like nothing has changed. I can't see any progress at all.
That must be really discouraging.
It is. It makes me wonder, what's the point? If I can't even see the difference, maybe I'm not actually improving.
I hear you, Tom. And I think more people feel this way than you realize.
Really?
Well, Tom, your timing is perfect because today's topic is exactly about this.
It is?
Yes, today we're talking about why progress is not always visible and why that doesn't mean it isn't real.
Okay, I definitely need this right now.
We're going to talk about what's really happening when you can't see change, why we get trapped into measuring only what's visible, and most importantly, how to trust the process, even when you can't see results yet.
That sounds like something a lot of people need to hear, not just me.
I think so too.
And before we dive in, just a quick reminder. You can pause, rewind, and listen as many times as you need.
There's no rush here. This is your space.
Okay, and if you haven't subscribed to Real Easy Talks yet, please do.
It really helps us reach more learners, and share this episode with someone who needs it.
Okay, Anna, I'm ready. Progress is not always visible. Let's go.
So, Tom, let me start with something. This is what I call the underground growth principle.
The underground growth principle. What do you mean by that?
Let me give you a picture. Imagine you plant a seed in the ground. You water it every day. Day 1, nothing. Day 2, nothing. Day 5, still nothing. A whole week goes by, and the soil looks exactly the same as when you started. If you didn't know better, you might think that seed is dead.
Right. That's exactly how I feel, like I'm watering something that's not growing.
But here's the thing. Underground, that seed is doing incredible work. It's building a root system. It's absorbing water and nutrients. It's stretching and preparing to push through the surface. All of that is happening. You just can't see it yet.
Oh, so you're saying that my English might be growing underground?
Exactly. Your brain is building connections, forming patterns, strengthening pathways. Every time you listen to a conversation, every time you read a new paragraph, your brain is doing invisible work, but none of that shows up on the surface right away. It's happening beneath.
That's like... Okay, let me think. When I watch a TV show in English now, I don't need subtitles for most of it. 3 months ago, I always turned them on, but I didn't notice the change because it happened so slowly. One day, I just realized, oh, the subtitles are off, and I'm still following everything.
That is a perfect example. Beautifully said.
But here's what I struggle with. If I can't see the progress, how do I know it's actually there? Maybe I'm just imagining it. Maybe I'm just telling myself a nice story.
That's a fair question, and the answer is look for indirect evidence, not the big, obvious signs like passing a test or suddenly speaking perfectly, but the small shifts. Do conversations feel slightly more natural? Do you hesitate a little less before speaking? Do you understand more than you used to, even if you can't explain exactly why?
Actually, yes. I think I do understand more. I noticed last week that I followed an entire podcast episode without rewinding once, but I didn't count that as progress because it wasn't dramatic enough.
And that's exactly the trap. We dismiss the small signs because we're waiting for the big ones, which brings us to the second idea. I call it the measuring trap.
The measuring trap? Tell me more.
Here's the problem. We live in a world that loves numbers, scores, percentages, streaks, levels, rankings. And because of that, we start to believe that if we can't measure something, it doesn't count. If there's no number attached to it, it must not be real.
Oh, I do this all the time. I check my vocabulary app and it says I learned 500 new words, and I think, okay, that's good, that's progress. But when I'm actually talking to someone, I forget half of them. The number says I'm improving, but the experience says something different.
Right, because the app measures quantity, how many words you reviewed, but it doesn't measure the quality of your understanding. It doesn't measure whether you feel more comfortable in a conversation or whether your thinking in English has become more deep and flexible. Those things are real, but they don't come with a score.
So we're measuring the wrong things?
Not exactly wrong. Those measurements aren't bad, but they're incomplete. They capture one small part of the picture and miss everything else. Let me offer another perspective. Imagine you're trying to measure how strong a friendship is. Would you count the number of text messages you exchange?
No, that would be ridiculous. You'd miss all the important stuff. The trust, the feeling of being understood, the inside jokes, the way you can sit in silence and it's still comfortable.
Exactly. The most meaningful parts of a friendship can't be counted, and the most meaningful parts of your language progress can't be counted. Your growing confidence, your changing relationship with English, the way the language is slowly becoming part of how you think, not just a tool you use, but something that lives inside you. None of that fits on a chart.
That's actually kind of scary, because if I can't count it, then how do I know I'm on the right track? How do I know I'm not wasting my time?
And that's the uncomfortable truth at the heart of the measuring trap. We want certainty, we want proof, but the most important growth resists being measured. You have to learn to trust something you can't see on a graph, and that's really hard for most people.
Including me. Definitely including me.
Including me too. When I was learning Japanese, I kept taking practice tests just to prove to myself that I was getting better. And when my score didn't change for 3 months, I wanted to quit. I thought, clearly this isn't working. But the whole time, my listening comprehension was improving. I was understanding conversations better. I just couldn't see it because I was staring at the wrong measurement.
Wait, you went through this too?
Absolutely. I think we all do, Tom.
Okay, that actually makes me feel better, knowing that even you struggled with this.
Now, let me share something that really changed the way I think about all of this. I call it the root system effect.
The root system effect.
Think about 2 trees standing next to each other. One tree grows very fast, tall, impressive, green leaves everywhere. Everyone notices it and says, "Wow, what a beautiful tree." But its roots are shallow. They barely go below the surface. The other tree grows slowly. For years, it doesn't look like much. It's short, it's ordinary, nobody pays attention to it. But underground, it's building a massive root system, deep, wide, reaching in every direction.
And then a storm comes.
Exactly. And what happens?
The fast tree falls because it has nothing holding it down, and the slow tree survives because its roots go deep enough to hold on.
Because the slow tree invested in what nobody could see, the roots. And when the pressure came, the wind, the rain, the storm, those invisible roots were the only thing that mattered.
Oh, so when I'm feeling stuck, when I feel like I'm not growing, when I look at other people who seem to be improving faster than me, I might actually be building roots.
That is exactly what's happening. Every time you practice and feel like nothing changed, you're building depth, you're building resilience, you're building the kind of understanding that doesn't disappear when you're nervous or tired or under pressure. That's the kind of progress that lasts.
You know, this reminds me of something. When I was learning to ride a bike as a kid, I fell down maybe 100 times, and every single fall felt like failure. My knees were scraped, I was crying, and I wanted to stop. But each fall was teaching my body something. And then one day I just rode, like something clicked inside me, and suddenly I could do it. Nobody saw the 100 falls, they only saw the moment I rode.
That's a beautiful metaphor, Tom, really.
So progress was happening inside every fall, even though it looked like failing, not learning.
Yes. And you know what I'd suggest? Try keeping a list in your head or on your phone of the invisible work you're doing each day. Call it roots I'm building. Even if it doesn't feel like progress, write it down. Over time, you'll start to see a pattern.
But doesn't this way of thinking make it too easy to avoid accountability? Like I could just say, oh, my progress is invisible, don't worry about it, and use that as an excuse to not actually work hard, to be lazy and call it patience.
That's a really sharp question. And you're right, there's an important difference between invisible progress and no progress at all. The key is this. Invisible progress still requires consistent effort. If you're showing up, if you're doing the work, if you're engaging with the language daily, the growth is happening underground. But if you're not putting in the work and just hoping for the best, that's not invisible progress. That's wishful thinking.
Okay, that makes sense. The effort has to be real, even if the results aren't visible yet. The seed needs real water.
Exactly. Real water, real soil, real sunlight. And that leads us to something very practical. I call it the root trust practice.
The root trust practice?
Yes, because trusting invisible progress isn't something that just happens naturally. It's something you have to practice, like a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger it gets.
How do you practice trusting something you can't see?
Let me give you a picture. Imagine a farmer in the middle of winter. The ground is frozen, the fields are empty, nothing is growing anywhere. But every day, that farmer goes out and repairs the fences, checks the irrigation system, plans the spring planting, prepares the tools. The farmer doesn't say, nothing is growing, so I'll stop working. The farmer keeps working because they trust that spring is coming.
But the farmer has seen spring before. They've been through the cycle. They know it comes every year. What about someone who's never seen the results? What if I've never really had that big breakthrough moment in English? How do I trust something I've never experienced?
You've touched on something really important here. And honestly, this is the hardest part. For people who haven't had that breakthrough yet, trust feels like a leap into the dark. But here's what I'd say. Look at the evidence around you, not inside your own experience, but around you. Millions of people have learned languages. Millions of people have gone through this exact frustration and come out the other side. The process works. It has always worked. You just haven't reached your spring yet.
My spring. I really like that idea, that somewhere ahead of me, there's a spring waiting.
And here's something you can try right now. Start collecting what I call evidence of growth, small pieces of proof that the process is working. Not big, dramatic changes, but tiny signals. A word you understood without thinking about it, a sentence that came out smoothly, a moment where you forgot you were even speaking a second language.
Like keeping a collection of small wins?
Exactly. Write down one piece of evidence every single day, just one. It can be in your phone, in a notebook, anywhere. And over time, those entries build up into something powerful, a pattern you can never see in any single day, but that becomes undeniable when you look at it all together.
That's like taking a photo of yourself every single day. One photo looks the same as yesterday. You can't see any difference at all. But if you put 100 of them together in a time lapse, the change is incredible.
Perfect way to put it. That is exactly it.
Okay, I'm starting to feel something shift inside me right now.
Good, because that brings us to our final idea. I call it the patience dividend.
The patience dividend. That sounds like something from a finance class.
In a way it is. Let me explain. A dividend is what you earn from an investment, right? It's the return. And in this case, patience is the investment. Here's what most people don't realize. The longer you stay patient with invisible progress, the bigger the payoff when it finally becomes visible. The return gets larger the longer you hold on.
Why is that?
Because invisible progress compounds. Every day you practice, you're not just adding one more brick to a wall, you're strengthening every brick you've already placed. The foundation gets stronger, the connections get deeper, and the understanding gets richer. And when the breakthrough finally happens, and it will happen, it's not a small step forward, it's a leap, because all that invisible work has been building up, waiting for the right moment to show itself.
Oh, that's like compound interest.
A little bit of money every day doesn't look like much, but over years it becomes enormous because each day you're earning interest on top of yesterday's interest.
Exactly. And the people who quit, they quit right before the dividend pays out. They've done all the hard, invisible work, they've built the roots, prepared the soil, watered the seed, but they lose patience at the last moment and walk away, right before everything was about to break through the surface.
That's actually terrifying, because I've seriously thought about quitting more than once.
Most people have, but here's what I want you to hold on to. The frustration you feel right now, that's not a sign that you're failing. It might actually be a sign that you're close, because frustration means you care enough to notice the gap between where you are and where you want to be. And the fact that you're still here, still practicing, still showing up, still having this conversation, that is your patience already paying forward.
But what if I'm patient and the breakthrough still doesn't come? What if I wait and nothing ever happens?
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
3 months ago, could you have had this conversation? Could you have followed 5 complex ideas in English, understood every metaphor, pushed back with your own thoughts, and created your own comparisons? Could you have done all of that?
No. Honestly, probably not. Not like this.
Then the breakthrough is already happening, Tom. You just haven't given yourself credit for it yet.
Wow. Okay, I need a moment with that one.
Let's sit with that.
Yeah. Okay, I think I've been so focused on what I can't do that I forgot to notice what I can do now.
And that's the most common version of the measuring trap. We measure the gap, not the ground we've covered.
The gap, not the ground. Yeah, that really hits hard.
So, Tom, let's bring it all together.
Yes, let me see if I can remember everything. Okay, first, the underground growth principle. Real progress starts below the surface, where nobody can see it, like a seed building its roots in the dark soil before it ever breaks through the ground. Just because you can't see change doesn't mean change isn't happening.
Tom, you got every single one. And you know what connects all 5 of them? They all point to the same truth. What matters most is often what you cannot see.
You know what I'm realizing? All of this is really about one thing. It's about learning to value the process more than the result. Not just in language learning, but in everything. We spend so much time looking for proof that we're making progress that we forget to actually live inside the progress itself. The progress is the practice. The progress is the showing up. The progress is this conversation we're having right now.
That's exactly it.
I think I've been so busy searching for evidence of growth that I forgot I was growing the entire time.
You were, and so have all our listeners.
So what can everyone do with all of this starting today?
Great question. We actually have a challenge for you this week.
Yes, we're calling it the Invisible Progress Journal.
Here's how it works. Every day for the next 7 days, before you go to sleep, write down 3 things. First, one thing you practiced today, even if it felt small and ordinary. Second, one thing you noticed was slightly easier than before, even if the difference was tiny. And third, one sentence of encouragement to your future self.
That actually sounds really manageable.
Because it is. 5 minutes a day. That's all it takes. And at the end of the week, read all 7 entries together. Look at them as a whole. You'll be surprised by what you see when you put the pieces together.
And share your experience with us. Leave a comment and tell us what you noticed.
We genuinely want to know how this changes things for you.
And if this episode helped you, share it with someone who needs to hear this today.
Remember, the most powerful growth is the growth no one can see. Keep going. Trust your roots. Until next time,
Bye, everyone.
your spring is closer than you think.